So we're going to make some KNEDLE today. I've got my potatoes, my prunes, my salt, 1 egg. I'll use some flour and self-raising flour. So to begin, I'm just going to prepare my potatoes because basically we make our KNEDLE like gnocchi, but instead of making gnocchi, we fill the dough with our prunes, and essentially they're just sweet dumplings. So I'll begin by just peeling my potatoes. So now I'm going to measure 1 cup of plain flour. And I want 1/2 cup of self-raising flour. That's it. I'm going to pop salt to taste. Just about that much in. I'm not sure how much that was, but it seems like maybe 1 teaspoon. I'll taste the dough later because I just want to taste the salt in it. 1 egg, and I'll start mixing. So now that the dough's all kind of put together, I'll flip it out onto the surface with some flour that I'll sprinkle over first. And roll it out, because this is how I'm going to fill the dough with the plums, or prunes I should say. I kind of want it to be quite thin as well, because I don't want a thick outer layer, but we'll see how we go. If I worked with a cooler potato mix, mashed potato, it wouldn't be sticking on here, but I haven't really waited, I'm too impatient. So I've rolled it all out and I've made it actually quite thin, as you can see. It's just going to be much better when they're actually made and you don't have to have such a thick pastry. So now that I've prepared my dough and having it thin, before I cut into it, I'll just prepare a big pot of water, and you can see that I've only left a little bit until we've reached the top. So it's about just over halfway full, and I put that on high heat, and I just want that to start boiling, because after we actually make the little sweet dumplings, I'll pop them into the water and they'll rise, but I'll show you that in a moment. Let's just start cutting. So to begin my cutting, I want maybe about 4 fingers width up the top. I'll go across and I'll keep doing it until I reach the end of the dough. We've still got that much, but I'll work with that later. Each is going to be quite narrow because we'll just roll them into balls. This is the way Mum taught me, so this is the way I'm doing it. There's probably easier ways, but this is just the way I know. So pop my sliver here, my prunes. Pick up my pastry. And we'll roll it up. Very, very soft dough. I just haven't let it really, I mean, it's not warm in my hands, but it's not freezing, but it's very soft, but that's okay. So there's one. I'll do like at least a row or two, and then we'll work from there. And then I'll pop them in and we'll go from there. I've got a spatula just in case. I mean, spatulas are always handy and they always do a good job. So in the middle of all of this, I come over and I pop it on a small saucepan on high heat, but I'll eventually put it down to low heat. I've just got some easy cold breadcrumbs. Pour it in. I really love this topping, so I'm just going to use it all. And then I just mix maybe a 1/4 cup of sugar to half, and then I'll get a little wooden spoon and mix whilst it's on heat. This breadcrumb is really easy to overheat or overcook. It just gets very instantly hard and really dark in colour. So it's good to keep an eye on it as well. I'm just going to sit here for a couple of minutes and just keep stirring because I really don't want it to overheat and be really hard and too crunchy. It's slowly starting to gain a bit of darker colour at the bottom here. If I lift up a little bit more, maybe you can see the difference. Oh, there we go, a little bit quite dark down the bottom there. So I'm just going to really mix it quite quickly because soon the whole texture is going to be quite dark. I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit, and because I had a lot of breadcrumbs mixture in it, I'm just going to pour a little bit more sugar to get a really nice sweet topping rather than just plain breadcrumbs. Because once the breadcrumbs are really like charred and browned, the breadcrumbs don't really taste like breadcrumbs. It's just a really nice crunchy topping. I like to go a tiny bit darker, not burnt, but just a little bit darker. I'm just going to keep mixing. I put it on low heat, so I'm hoping it doesn't burn off too quickly, but we'll just keep going a little bit. Pop it off heat for just a moment. I'm just going to taste a little bit. I could do with a little bit more sugar, but I think I'm just going to leave it as is. So all up, I've put like maybe 1 full cup of breadcrumbs and then half a cup of sugar. And I think that's a pretty good topping consistency. So I'll just turn this heat off. And I'm going to pop this to the side and continue making my dumplings, and then I'll pop them in the water that's already boiling. I've got a prepared bowl here ready for the dumplings to go in, and then we'll continue covering it with the topping as well. So I'll just start with these ones to the side. I'll just wait for these to rise up to the top, because once they do, I know they're done. Or if they just start floating in general, and then I'll just transfer them to the bowl. And then I will have the one layer, and then I'll just sprinkle my topping on top, and then do another layer of dumplings, and then more topping on top, and then just keep pouring it on top until I'm done. Now I've got a bunch of leftover bits that I've just rolled into some flour and into a ball. I'm going to again roll this out and use what I've got left over. So now all my flared net are boiled, and I've sprinkled all of my topping on top, and they just look so scrumptious. I've just got one here that you can see inside how beautiful and soft it is.